welcome one, welcome all to Season 2 of the UKC. You guys already know what's going down. So let's just jump right into it. Let me go ahead and show the leaderboard, or the brackets and lobbies one more time. So here's how it's going to go for week 1, which is today. Alright, we have 6 games in total. Alright, 2 lobbies in each class. Alright, each class is split into, or the 12 players that are participating is split into 2 different lobbies. And the top 3 of this week will move on to the upper bracket. Bottom 3 of this week will move on to the lower bracket. Once we start playing, you guys will see how this works out in total. All right, lobby 1 in A class, we have Plum Sauce, Stolen EP3, Kawaii FH1, Autocycle PC, Speed, and iBox. Unfortunately, Autocycle said he was not going to be able to make it today, so he will actually move immediately into the lower bracket. Alright, so this game will be a 5-person lobby. I believe Kawaii says he will be, he may or may not make it to the first game, which is happening in a few minutes. But I believe he's on his way home, so hopefully by the time we are ready to get it started, he is gonna be able to make it home. Alright, in the second lobby of A class, we have Trailline, Glitchmoth, myself, The Spec, Miranda, and Spotless. Same thing, if you come top 3, you move on to the upper bracket. And if you come bottom 3, you move on into the lower bracket. Alright, and then same thing with S1. These are the lobbies for S1. In the first lobby, we have iBox, Spotless, Kawaii, Moth, Autocycle, and Speed. Same thing with the top 3, bottom 3 bracket thing. And in lobby 2, we have Stolen, Spec, Miranda, Plum, Trailline, and myself. Alright, and in S2, we have, in the first lobby, we have Stolen, Plum Sauce, Autocycle, myself, iBox, and Speed. And then in lobby 2 of S2, we have Miranda, Kawaii, Spotless, Camillo, Spec, and Moth. Alright, so, with that being said, guys, we have 6 games coming your way. Alright, we got 6 games coming at you today. Top 3 of each lobby will move on to the upper bracket. Bottom 3 will have a chance to work their way back up from the lower bracket. Alright, with that being said, let's go ahead and get the first lobby going. It's A class. We got Plum Sauce, Stolen, Kawaii, Autocycle, Speed, and iBox. Alright, I'll be gathering up the people here. And once we get back, we will get this game started. Alright, do not go anywhere. Grab your popcorns. And please, please, please enjoy the show. Alright, with that being said, welcome back. We are here. A class is about to start, so let's go ahead and take a look at the competitors here. Alright, we have Kawaii FH1, who I just saw the ghost of right here. Oh, there he is. Right there. That's the car he's going to be using for A class in his Mark V Supra. Then we have Plums. Oh, also I have to mention Kawaii is making his UKC debut. So, but he's been playing ever since Horizon 1. So be on the lookout to see some veteran moves up his sleeves. All right, Plum Sauce in his C5 making a return from Season 1 of the UKC. All right, he's been getting better. He's been playing. He's been practicing, and he is here to prove to us why he is in contention of being World King Champion. Alright, we got Stolen also making a return from Season 1 of the UKC here. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it into semis or finals, I think, just because he wasn't home for the matches. But nonetheless, he did have an outstanding performance in Season 1 in A class in the games that he did play. So he's going to look to prove to everyone why he is in contention. And of course, we have Speed, who a bit of a wild card here, didn't do as well as he would have liked in the entirety of Season 1, except for, I believe, A class, where he was a finalist. But he's looking to make a name for himself in this season. And of course, we have iBox, and this, not to sound a little biased or anything like that, but in my opinion, an up-and-coming prospect, one of the top prospects that are Coming up now, I mean, you know, he's just made the upgrade from the regular Xbox One to a Series, and actually, same can be said for Plum as well, making that upgrade. And iBox is looking to prove now that we're on an even playing field, why he is the best on in the world, basically. With that being said, CJ5 for iBox, Sylvia for Speed, CRX Mugen for Stolen, C5 Corvette for Kawaii, for Plum Sauce, and a Mark V Supra for Kawaii. With that being said, we are going to go ahead and get this game started. Let's go ahead and jump into the first game of A class. Top 3 will be moving on into the upper bracket. The bottom 3 will be the bottom 2 in this case will be going on into the lower bracket. I will be going up to the spectator spot and watching the action all happen. And also, a few people are streaming as well, so we'll jump into different POVs and things like that as well. Alright, with that being said, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this game started. With that being said, we are off, although there's a little bit of a stream delay on the side of Stolen here. But I do have the crown here. I'm going to wait for somebody to come over to me to get it. And then I will go ahead and go to the spectator spot. Let me try to quickly get out of the way here. And then we can switch POVs back to... oh my goodness. I do not want to speak about me absolutely struggling here. Although Stolen is definitely not struggling in his CRX right now, as he currently has the crown right here. And Kawaii coming in and taking the crown away from Stolen, and he's going to put the first few seconds on the board himself. But Speed coming in and taking the crown away from Kawaii. And let's go ahead and switch back to my POV so that there is a little bit less delay on the stream here. We got Speed running with the crown here, first to reach 30 seconds right there. And it's got Stolen chasing right behind him. Plum Sauce going for the cutoff, as well as Kawaii there. Ooh, a bit of a hesitation there from Kawaii, but Plum Sauce coming in and taking the crown away from Speed there. But Stolen, or I'm sorry, was that... I may have misspoke there. That was Stolen taking it back. And now he's going to run with the crown here. Kawaii and Speed both on the chase right now. iBox putting in work in that CJ5. That's a bit of an underrated car. But iBox has been making it work very nicely. Kawaii, though, making sure his name is in that conversation in the Mark V Supra. A bit of an unconventional choice here. Has a lot of grip, but it is also very heavy, at least in comparison to the other cars that are in the lobby here, against the likes of the CJ5 and the CRX. Speed, though, coming in his Sylvia, also a bit of an unconventional choice. But he was very adamant on making this car work, and that's what we're seeing right here. Stolen on the chase, though, in the Mugen CRX. Kawaii right behind him. iBox, ooh, I believe iBox just got punted just a little bit out of the way here, just barely. And iBox has not had the start that he's looking for. 2.5 minutes have gone by in this game, and iBox still has not touched the crown here. But iBox is definitely capable of making a comeback. Stolen with the crown here, but Plum Sauce making quick work from Stolen, out of Stolen, I should say. Oh, but Stolen making sure he shows him why that was a fluke, and he takes it back. He's going to look to move up into second place, maybe even into first place. Kawaii trying to get a swipe there, doesn't quite get it. It's now iBox on the chase. Will he be able to get his first tag of the game here? No, he won't, as Stolen cuts it on the left there. Speed is there to intercept, and he will get the crown, and he's going to try to keep pulling away with the lead here as Stolen just gets that 1 minute mark. Speed, though, still trying to make a move here. Stolen not letting him get away that easily. And Kawaii right on the chase, it looks like. Let's go ahead and jump back into the POV of Stolen here. so we can get a better idea of what the game is like right now from the POV of Stolen. Currently with the crown right here, a lot of sporadic movements from the camera. That's what we like to see. That's how we know that he is trying to keep an eye out on everyone. A minute 30 on the board now, and he's looking like he's not going to slow down anytime soon. A nice juke there. How that wasn't a hitbox, I don't know. iBox coming in, and he gets his first tag of the match here with about 6 minutes remaining on the board. And now it is up to iBox to make sure that his name is in that conversation, because iBox, I mean, he's definitely he definitely has the skill. Not the greatest start by any means, but he can definitely make a comeback here with the amount of time that's left. A good cut attempt here from Stolen here, but iBox a little bit too smart. He's going to turn around. He's going to play his cards here and gamble the straight line speed of that CJ5. Is he going to get away here? Almost gets away, but Stolen just a little bit too fast, and Stolen will keep trying to extend that lead. If you're Speed, you gotta start taking the crown here if you want to take that first place points. iBox, realizing he's not in the top 3 currently, he takes the crown, and he does move up into the top 3 now. And if you are Plum Sauce or Kawaii, you're going to have to start playing here. I mean, 5 minutes left, which is still half the game remaining, but if you start relying on the time that is left in the game, then it's not going to work out that great for you. You can't rely on, you can't just say, oh, I have the time, and just let these guys who are the best in the world just run rampant on you. And Kawhi realizing that, making sure he gets his time on the board there. Ooh, unlucky getaway there. Plum Sauce taking full advantage of that. Let's go ahead and jump back into the spectator POV here. We got Stolen with the crown right now, nearing 2 minutes on the board here as we come down to the last 4 minutes of the game. iBox looks like he's the only one putting up any sort of contention in terms of distance from Stolen. A nice break check there from Stolen, but Speed has the better line, but he doesn't get it. iBox with a great turning radius, and he gets away, or he gets the crown, and he's going to move up into second place. Kawhi is going to be there for the cutoff there. A little bit of a late rotation from Kawhi, but that's actually going to pay off and allow him to get that 1 minute mark. Stolen does seem like he's got a bit of a lead on the rest of the lobby there, but for iBox and Speed and Kawaii, it is a very close game, and you don't want to be in that 4th place position there. I mean, you want to have immunity going into week 2. If you're in the upper bracket, you are basically safe from elimination here. But if you are in the bottom 3, you will have to contend and come top 3 in the lower bracket in order to move on. And just a reminder, Auto Cycle is not here today. So with that being said, if you are going to the lower bracket, you do have him to face, and he's going to try to move up out of the lower bracket as well. With that being said, though, Speed making sure he closes the gap on Stolen, but Stolen is not going to make that any easy for Speed here whatsoever. Kawaii in jeopardy, as well as Plum Sauce. But if you're Kawaii or Plum Sauce, Kawaii only needs a few more seconds to pass iBox, and Plum Sauce needs about a minute to be in the top 3 here. But 2.5 minutes still remain in this game. And nice driving there from Stolen, juking the entire lobby. And Stolen's got a minute lead on the entire lobby right now. And I mean, you never want to get stagnant or complacent in these games. But Stolen does look like he's got a pretty good safety net here. But Plum Sauce, though, trying to come up the leaderboard, definitely still has time to do it. But Stolen, the absolute menace of a driver that he is, not letting Stolen have any more time. And Stolen putting up 3 minutes on the board. Absolutely fantastic driving from the CRX here, or in the CRX from Stolen. iBox still currently safe, but still in jeopardy as Kawaii is not that far behind. And to be honest, neither is Plum Sauce. And this could go either way here. Speed and iBox could both fall out of the top 3 here if all the cards play right for Plum Sauce and Kawaii. With that being said, though, Speed is going to try to get as much time on the board as possible here, trying to make sure he solidifies his second place. Kawhi coming in, and now, I don't know about you, but if you're iBox, I will be trembling in my boots right now as Kawhi takes the crown and puts iBox in jeopardy here. And Kawhi has a chance to move up into the top 3. This is exactly what he's looking to do. He's going to try to get a break check on iBox, and if you're Kawhi, this is the last person you want to lose it to right here. And iBox can breathe a breath of relief with that tag right there, allowing him to stop Kawhi in his tracks. And Stolen, though, the menace that he is, as I was speaking about earlier, still has a minute lead over second place in that CRX Mugen. And he did not come to mess around. Oh, Plum Sauce, though, what a cut. And mathematically speaking, he can move up into 4th place right here. Will he be able to do it, though? We will have to find out. He will have to keep it for the entirety of the game. I don't believe he has enough time to move up into the podium as we come down to the last 30 seconds here. But Plum will get it for a minute, and iBox will get the crown here. And if you are Kawhi, that is not what you want to see. And it looks like with the amount of time left, we have secured our placements here. It looks like Stolen is going to take 1st place in the CRX Mugen here. Speed, 2nd place. iBox, 3rd place. Kawhi, 4th place. And Plum Sauce taking 5th. Congratulations to Stolen for taking a victory. And congratulations to the top 3. You guys will be moving on to the upper bracket. Kawhi and Plum Sauce will have to make their way in from the lower bracket. Alright, so here are the results of the first game here. We have Stolen, EP3, putting on a nice performance in his CRX there, and putting up 3 minutes and 28 seconds on the board. Speed in his Sylvia S15, putting up 2 minutes, 2 seconds, and he will be taking 2 points. iBox currently with 1 point, putting up 1 minute 54 seconds. A bit of a late surge there for iBox. Almost could have even taken 2nd place. Just 8 seconds away from taking 2nd place. Kawhi, though, just slightly behind iBox with 1 minute 21 seconds in his Supra. And Plum Sauce in his C5 Corvette with 1 minute 5 seconds. Still a fairly close game, and unfortunately Autocycle was not able to make it, so he will be taking a DNF. Alright, and those are the results right now. Stolen has 3 points, Speed has 2 points, and iBox has 1 point. Kawhi, Plum, and Autocycle currently have 0 points. They're going to be trying to work in their way up from the lower bracket. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and jump into game number 2 of A-Class, which is coming up right now. Let's see. With that being said, let's go ahead and introduce the players, starting off with Spotless here. Spotless was a finalist in Season 1, I believe in S1. I'm not sure if he was a finalist in A-Class. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he did not play in S2, but he is joining us here in the 2nd lobby of A-Class, and he is definitely one of the most well-rounded players in the entire world right now. The only player, at least that I know of, playing King on keyboard, and that just goes to show you the skill that it requires, or the skill that he possesses, rather, to be playing at this type of level with keyboard and mouse. Up next, we have Glitchmoth in his Morris Traveler. We've seen the Morris Traveler under Moth's hands, and we know how unpredictable and sporadic Moth can be as a player already. And not only that, a car to match his playstyle, a car that is very small, nimble, light, and quick. That is exactly what we expect from Glitchmoth here. He is also making his UKC debut today. He was not playing in the first season of UKC, so he's going to look to make sure to prove that he is in contention for the World King Championship. We got our boy Camilo over here repping the TOGT paint job. Of course, Camilo's been my boy ever since Horizon 1, even before then. You know, he's been a long-time friend of mine. He's been in the game for a while. Definitely the most OG player in this lobby. And yes, I mean over me even. He's been playing longer than I have even. So, a veteran in this lobby, of course. In his 22B, repping the Horizon 1 car choices. I believe he said that's what he was planning on doing for Season 2. And he didn't quite have the hottest start that he wanted from Season 1. So he is going to be looking to prove everybody wrong and showing exactly why he's in contention of the World King Championship. Then you got myself. I decided to go with the Toyota S800, the Sports 800 here. Light, nimble, agile. And, I didn't play in A-Class or S1 in the previous season. But, we are trying to keep a bit of a uniformity going here. So I'm making everybody play in the same class. Therefore, I am also in A-Class. I mean, otherwise I would just spam S2, whatever. But with that being said, I will be looking to prove myself as well. Next, we have Miranda in an even smaller car, or at least in lengthwise, than my Sports 800. And she is going to be making her UKC debut as well, I believe, in terms of the Season 1, Season 2. Now, she was in the developmental, so to speak, UKC, where we had the weekly stuff, the UKC 1, 2, 3, and 4. She has made an appearance in there. Same with all these guys that are making their debuts. But Miranda has been a little bit, she's kind of been wanting to prove herself a little bit. And this is the best way to show everybody why she is in contention to be the World King Champion. She's rocking the Mini, and we know how nasty her juice can be, so we're going to be looking out for that. And of course, finally, we have Spec, the current World King Champion, and he is still in that Sierra. I'm not sure if it's the same tune or whatever, but this is the same car he used to win the finals in A-Class to become the World King Championship in A-Class, and he's looking to do the exact same thing again. Will history repeat himself? Although this is not the finals, but he's going to try to move up the upper bracket for sure in his Sierra right there. So we will see if he can pull it off again. But yeah, there is the lineup for Lobby 2 of A-Class. Go ahead and type in the chat the order that you think is going to finish in. And with that being said, let me go ahead and jump over to the event so I can start it. Once again, my apologies. There will not be any commentary for this because I will be playing as well. And so I will be more focused on the game rather than commentating. All right. And with that being said, I will go ahead and start this game. Lobby 2 of A-Class in Season 2 coming right up. All right, with that being said, these are the results for the second game of A-Class. All right, we got Moth taking first place, 3 minutes, 25 seconds. We got myself taking second place, 2 minutes, 24. Miranda taking third place with 1:32. Trailline taking fourth place with 1:07. Spotless just under Trailline with 1:06. And Spec with 25 seconds. And here are the results of the previous game. I know we already went over it, but we got Moth taking first place, putting up 3 minutes, 25 seconds on the board, which is 1 minute more, a minute lead more than the person in second place. So a very nice performance from Moth in his Morris Traveler. We got myself trailing behind Moth with 2 minutes 24 seconds, and then we have Miranda coming in, and like not to put her on blast or anything, but like that. But she was a little bit skeptical on how she would do, but she does round out the top 3, scoring herself 1 point and moving herself in the upper bracket. Unfortunately for Camilo, Spotless, and Spec, and Camilo just slightly behind the top 3 there, and Spotless just 1 second behind Camilo, and Spec happened to have some technical difficulties. It wasn't a connection issue, it wasn't a car issue, just seemed to be the game just bugging out on him, I suppose. So we'll call that ECU issues for Spec there, car difficulties, so to speak. But tough luck for Spec, rounding out the game with 25 seconds. But other than that, Trailline, Spotless, and Spec will have to work their way from the lower bracket. And Moth, myself, and Miranda will be moving into the upper bracket. All right, and with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into S1. And let's go ahead and jump in with the introductions here. We got Kawhi once again making his debut in S1. His UKC debut, an S1 debut for him as well, picking the KTM. We all know this is one of the top 2 cars in the game here, and he's going with a safe choice. Once again, a veteran player, been playing the game since Horizon 1. Didn't quite make the cut in A-Class to be the top 3, but he's looking to make some noise in S1. With that being said, we got iBox coming in with the Saline S7. Now, I have spoken with iBox about his car choices and stuff like that, and he has big faith in the Saline S7. There are way better cars, at least in my opinion, in this class, but iBox swears by the S7, and he knows how to drive it. He understands the car, and that is the car he's most comfortable with. So he will look to be the finish in the podium once again, as he did in A-Class, rocking his Saline S7, or I'm sorry, podium in S1 as he did in A-Class. You guys know what I'm talking about. Then up next we have Speed in a Jaguar XJR15. Now this was a car that was in contention for me as well, a car that I was really hoping for me that it would work for me. So a great choice of car there. Nice color on it as well, and Speed I'm sorry, couldn't quite. No, I'm sorry. He did manage to make it into the podium for A-Class, and he's trying to do the same thing in S1 again, looking to prove to everybody why, even on an Xbox One, you can still hang. Yes, Speed is the only player right now that is playing on an Xbox One, so big props to him for hanging with the best on outdated hardware. Up next we have Moth, and everybody knows Moth. He's in the Mini. Now look at this. Now if this isn't a Moth thing to do, I don't know what is. In A-Class he was in a Morris Traveler. In S1, a class with more power and more speed, he decides to choose a smaller car with a shorter wheelbase and more instability. And if that's not Moth, I don't know what is. But Moth looking to, he made it work in A-Class, taking first place, and Moth looking to make sure he does the same thing again in S1. Repping his Mini. We've seen this Mini multiple times in practice lobbies. He's repping the UKC on the side there, and Moth will be looking to make waves in the lobby. And then finally, we have Spotless Owl here using the Porsche Cayman, I believe. Porsche Cayman with the wide body there. Looks very nice. He in S1 in the previous season, he did use a Porsche as well. So he's just sticking with that theme right there. But you know, for Spotless, he was a finalist in S1, and he's looking to do the same thing for Season 2 as well. With that being said, Spotless, Moth, Speed, iBox, and Kawaii, this is your lineup for Lobby 1 of S1 coming right up. While I get to the spectator spot, let me go ahead and jump in with Moth here, and let's go ahead and see his POV and see what he's seeing in his mini. All right. Looks like iBox will start off with the crown. Once again, no deductions or anything like that of the sort for today. We are just going to run it as it is. We'll see if iBox can come out victorious in his Saline S7. And it seems that I am actually having technical difficulties right here, but Moth is not, and that is good. I'm going to try to not be in the way here. I will wait for all of them to get out of the way before I go make my way into the spectator spot. So while I'm doing that, at least you guys are seeing a Moth POV as opposed to no POV at all, which is good. Give me just 1 second here. I am currently still making my way to the top of the spectator spot right here. So I apologize for the lack of commentary at this time. However, Speed does seem like he was able to take it away from iBox. And Speed looks like he's putting on an absolute clinic in his XJR15, his Jaguar. A very good choice there. That is a car that I approve of. Like I said, a car that I almost used as well. But nonetheless, a car that Speed is using and looks like putting into good work. But Moth coming in his little mini and absolutely putting in some work. Look at the speed that he's able to carry through those. Oh, and what attack there from Speed. That was a very, very close one. Very hitboxy from Moth's side. But either way, he is still he did still lose it thanks to the game. Spotless now putting up the first few seconds on the board. Let's go ahead and jump into my POV once again and jump in here. And from our spectator spot here, Speed putting up some time on the board, 1:20 and counting. But the rest of the lobby look like they are kind of trailing behind here. iBox now trying to close in that gap here. That is quite the lead that Speed has built up on everybody, and iBox is not getting far at all. And look at Speed, 1:30, almost 1:30 on the board, and Kawaii coming in and putting up his first few seconds on the board, and he is going to make sure that he puts up his name on the board. I mean, moving into second place is not very hard right now considering the amount of time that everybody has. But it's moving into first place that is the issue. And oh my goodness, what an absolute maneuver there from Kawaii. And he's going to keep running it there, moving himself up into second place. Oh, just gets into second place, edging out iBox. But they have the same amount of time on the board. But Speed, an absolute monster with that car right now. 1:40 and counting. He is not letting up. He is not showing any sort of mercy. Excuse me. And he is going to absolutely have no mercy on these guys right here. Moth, though, looking to move up into second place as he does. And if you're Speed, you've got to be feeling good. And this is quite the adaptation or different Speed that we are seeing right here. And Speed, you know, usually known for having a late surge comeback, you know, a bad first half, or, you know, like coming back a little bit too late type of thing. But Speed has been absolutely going off right now, and nobody has even had it for a minute yet, whereas Speed is nearly at 2 minutes right now. And we have just over 6 minutes remaining here. Speed is going to try to keep this lead, but Kawhi now has Speed within 1 minute of him, and slowly but surely, if Speed gets complacent, it will end up hurting him in the biting him back in the butt. But Speed, though, realizing that, taking the crown, and we'll see if he's able to put up 2 minutes on the board. He does extend the lead back over to 2 minutes, and unfortunate series of events over there. And he's going to is going to look to take the crown away and put up some time on the board himself. And let's go ahead and check and see if we can jump in with Speed actually and see what his POV is, see what he's having for lunch over here, because he's absolutely putting on an absolute monster of a performance right now. I don't believe that Speed is live currently, at least not that I'm seeing right now. Let me just make sure that I'm not tripping here. Yes, he's not live, so we cannot jump in with Speed, but let's go ahead and jump in with Moth one more time and see what he's doing from his POV. Moth just gets the crown right there. Perfect timing on the cut to Moth, and he's going to look to try to move away from everybody here. Who's that on the chase? That is iBox, an absolute madman, so to speak. The determination to use that Saline S7, that just goes to show that he's very confident in his ability to do well in this. However, right now, though, iBox still currently sitting in 4th place, and if he's not careful, he might move down into 5th as well. And Spotless looking to make sure his name is in the conversation of the top 3, but Speed, once again, still absolutely just putting on a beating on the rest of the lobby. Moth, though, he moves up into 2nd place, and he's going to try to catch up with Speed. What a nice getaway right there. Very close one. Not sure if Moth knew that they were coming through. But either way, another nice getaway there from Moth, and we are seeing vintage Moth right now. If you guys have ever played against Moth, this is what he's known for. These close getaways, these small car only maneuvers, so to speak. There's another one right there. He will stop for that hit on the wall. That was a bit of a hard hit right there, and showing good sportsmanship there from Moth. iBox, though, just as we were speaking about him, he's going to try to move up into the top 3 right here, and he does, and this puts Kawhi and Spotless in jeopardy. With that being said, though, once again, Speed still currently sitting at 2 minutes and 36 seconds, and if this keeps going the way it does, then Speed might just be taking the victory here, and we'd love to see it, especially from somebody playing on a lower end hardware, but Speed, though, wow, what a great setup there from everybody just for Speed to be able to take it right there, and that allows Speed to keep extending the time there. A nice juke there from Speed. Kawhi couldn't quite read him, but Spotless will be there for the cutoff. Kawhi still looking for a tag on the Porsche there. Couldn't quite get it. iBox, though, will make quick work of that. iBox closing in on Moth's time, though. And mathematically speaking, iBox has the time to take 1st place, but not if Speed keeps getting the crown away from iBox, or from anybody for that matter. If you want to take 1st place in this game, you have got to stop letting Speed get the crown here. Speed now 3 minutes on the board, over double the time of the person in 2nd place. And if I'm doing the math correctly, which I am not, never mind. I was about to say Speed has more time than the rest of the lobby combined, but that is just factually incorrect. With that being said, though, Spotless, though, trying to move, or should I say bump iBox out of the top 3 so that he can get it. But Moth coming in, what an absolute laser of a tag. Once again, classic Moth. This is what we've been seeing and what we've come to expect from Moth whenever you're playing against him. Oh, a bit of a, he was a bit hesitant there to stop, and I could completely understand. It wasn't that big of a hit on the wall there, but that's going to allow Spotless to close in on iBox this time, And Spotless is going to look to pass iBox, but Speed is just ever so greedy. He wants more time. He does not want to let anybody have any crumbs. And he's going to keep taking the crown here. But Moth, though, coming in. And Moth knows exactly how Speed plays. These two guys have played each other for a very long time. And Moth making quick work of Speed. But Speed also making quick work of Moth as well. And iBox needs to get the crown here if he wants to stay in contention. Same with Kawaii here. He needs to come in and take the crown. And, and an unfortunate deck there from Kawaii. Very unlucky here. Let's go ahead and jump into my POV here for the last 30 seconds of the game here. And we will see how this ends up happening. Let me go ahead and jump over here. And Kawaii taking the last few seconds. Will he be able to get a minute? Yes, he does. Spotless does eventually pass iBox there. I was trying to switch screens. I did not see that transition happen. But there you have it. You have Speed taking first place, 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Moth, 2 minutes, 3 seconds. Spotless, 1 minute, 33 seconds. iBox, 1 minute, 24. And Kawaii with a minute and, was it 4 seconds? I just missed it. With that being said, Speed, Spotless, and Moth will be moving up the upper bracket. And Kawaii, Autocycle, and iBox will have to work their way from the lower bracket. So, with that being said, we had Speed putting on an absolute masterclass here with 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the board. Moth coming in second place, 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Now this was the nail biter right here between Spotless and iBox. Spotless able to edge out iBox just at the last minute here, and pushing himself, nudging iBox out of the top 3 to move himself into the upper bracket. And iBox with a minute 24 taking 4th place. Kawaii taking 5th place with 1 minute and 8 seconds. And Autocycle, of course, not able to make it, so he does get a DNF. So we will see Speed, Moth, and Spotless in the upper bracket, joining whoever is going to be in the top 3 out of this lobby right here that is about to happen. And we will see iBox, Kawaii, and Autocycle win the bottom 3 with the bottom 3 of the previous game, or of this game. This is the lineup for Lobby 2 of S1 right here. Same thing applies. Top 3 will move on to the upper bracket. Bottom 2 in this case will be moving on, having to make their way up from the lower bracket. We got Spec making a return, or his KTM making a return. This was also his championship winning car. I'm not sure if the tune is the same. Maybe he's changed it. I don't know. But he is the current reigning defending World King champion in all classes. And this is what he's decided to bring out today. A great choice. Obviously, he's very familiar with the car, and we all know what kind of a driver Spec is. Unfortunately, not the result he wanted in A class, but he is going to try to prove that that was just a fluke in that previous game. And we will see how he does in this game. Then we got, of course, myself. I decided to go with a KTM as well. Bit of a last-minute decision here, but decided to change a few things here and there. Tried a couple of different combos, and ended up with what I actually liked. So we will see how I do here. Once again, I did not play in S1 class in the previous season, so I'm also looking to be in contention to be the best in the world as well. Once again, up next we have Camilo rocking the Ascari KZ1, another card that's been in Horizon 1. And we see the trail line paint job, and I believe he has TOGT on the back. Yes, he does, with the UKC sticker on the back as well. And trail line, I mean, he in the previous game he did not quite make the top 3, but I think he surprised everybody. He definitely surprised me with the way he was driving, and he's definitely in contention to be the best in the world here if the cards play out right for him. And he's going to look to try to make waves in this lobby right here. Up next, we have Miranda in that RX-7 of hers. She absolutely loves this thing. I don't know, ever since the first day she drove this car, I don't know if she's ever switched to any other car other than this RX-7. So she has some seat time in this car, very familiar with this. This, in my opinion, is the way to go. Pick the car that you know the most and most feel comfortable with, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. And she may have surprised herself even with how well she did in A class. She's going to be looking to do the exact same thing here in S1 in her RX-7. And finally, we have Plum Sauce in the C5. Once again, same car as the A class car. Very interesting choice here. You know, he didn't quite make the podium in the previous in A class, but he's still in contention. This is S1 now, and you know, S1 allows you to use a little bit more power, and perhaps Plum has something up his sleeve that we don't know about this C5 of his. With that being said, this is the lineup of the second lobby in S1. We got Spec, myself, Trailline, Miranda, and Plum Sauce, and that match is coming right now. With that being said though, because I will be playing in this game, I will not be commentating. So I will go ahead and mute my mic and leave it here. Once again, I can go ahead and switch over to Miranda. Everybody type 1 if you want me to switch to Miranda's POV, or type 2 to stay on my POV. Alright, I will either switch or stay depending on what the chat says. But either way, I will see you guys after this game. All right, that was S1 in the books for week 1. A tremendously close game there at the end. Let's go ahead and jump into the results here. I forgot to take a screenshot of it, unfortunately, and we missed it. And we still missed it. So I wonder if anybody has took a screenshot or anything like that. But I do remember Spec just taking first place at the end there with 3 minutes and 47 seconds, I believe, and myself with 3 minutes 44 seconds, and I believe Miranda was third with 1 minute and 30 something, but technical difficulties, I guess you could blame it on that, or you could just blame it on my incompetence that I didn't get a screenshot of that final results. But let me go ahead and show you the results. I will go ahead and confirm. I will confirm the time later on, but currently this is what the results are looking like. We have Spec taking first place. We got myself in second, Miranda in third place, Plum fourth, and Trailline in fifth. And Stolen, unfortunately, does get a DNF. So that is the results for Lobby 2 of S1. But that is now in the past, and we move on to the current lobby, which is now S2 Lobby 1, which is Stolen, Plum Sauce, Autocycle, myself, iBox, and Speed. Unfortunately, Stolen is not able to make it with us here today. Or at least currently, because he has something to do or something like this. Autocycle, he has told me in advance that he will be working his way from the lower bracket. So, unfortunately, for us here, for Plum, myself, iBox, and Speed, this is only a 4-person game. Alright? So, now that we have the competitors for today here in this lobby with us, let's go ahead and jump in. So first we have myself on this side. I mean, there's no really other explanation other than it's the damn blade, you know. Previously I did try not to use the blade, but you know, decided to go all out for this one and went with the blade. You know, I didn't really want to use it. I'm not too big of a fan of the balance of it, but the sheer grip is just too overwhelming for me to ignore this as a first choice. So I was trying to look for blade replacements, but I decided to go with the blade. So that is what I will be using today. And it looks like Plum Sauce has the same idea. He's going to look to try to put up some time in the blade here. And looking at the rest of the competitors here, it does look like Plum does have a car advantage at least over one person. So with that being said, Plum will be looking to put up some time and you know, finish top 3 in this S2 game so that he can make his way into the upper bracket. Up next we have Speed in a 599XE, the only front engine car in this lobby right now. And this was definitely a car that I was definitely contemplating on using. But Speed, he has done well in S1 and A-Class, so he's going to look to continue that trend into S2 in his 599XXE. We will see how he does. And last but not least, we have iBox, who is also has done well in A-Class, but didn't quite make the cut for S1, just got cut at the end there. So he's going to look to redeem himself by coming top 3 in this game so that he can move on into the upper bracket and score himself some points. With that being said, unfortunately, Autocycle and Stolen is not able to make it here with us today. So this is the lineup for S2. We got myself, Plum Sauce, Speed, and iBox coming up right now. Because I am playing, commentary will not be present by me. However, Yukio in the chat has been doing a great job of making play-by-play calls by transcribing what is happening through text. So if you want to see that, you can pay attention to Yukio's chats as he makes the play-by-play moves, or calls, I should say. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and get this game started, and I will see you guys after this game. All right, with that being said, that was Lobby 1 of S2. We have Speed, myself, and iBox moving into the upper bracket, and we'll be sending Plum, Autocycle, and Stolen into the lower bracket, and they will have to come top 3 in week 2 in order for them to stay in contention of the world title. Let's go ahead and take a recap at the results of the previous game that happened. Let's go ahead and run that real quick. We had Speed taking first place with 4 minutes and 3 seconds. We had myself taking second with 3 minutes and 49 seconds. iBox with 1:23, and Plum with 43 seconds. So who will join the upper bracket and the lower bracket out of these 6 right here? And that is the match that is coming up next. All right, starting off, we'll go back from this side here. We have Spec making his return. Obviously, everybody in here is going to play in every class, but Spec didn't do so hot in A class, had some technical difficulties, but came back strong with a victory in S1 class. And now he's going to look to do the same thing here in the Blade, and that looks very similar to his championship winning Blade for Season 1 as well. So as we know, Spec is the reigning, defending World King champion at the moment in all 3 classes. And so, you know what? Don't fix what's not broken, right? And Spec is doing exactly that, looking to claim his name to fame in the Blade right there. And then we have Kawaii making a return into S2. Once again, his UKC debut. So, his debut in S1 right there using an XJR-15. Now, this was also a card that I was contemplating as well. It is very light, very nimble, very good. It is a bit elongated here, but Kawaii is a veteran in the game here, and he knows what he's doing. So we will see if he's able to scratch out a top 3 finish in S2. And then we have Camilo here in a Viper AE. Once again, Camilo is going to be repping the Horizon 1 cars, and this is what we're seeing right here, a Dodge Viper Anniversary Edition right here, and the classic Horizon 1 cover photo Viper paint job right there. Camilo has been playing, once again, probably the longest in this lobby right here, and he's an absolute OG in the game. He, absolutely just an absolute GOAT, all right? I got to give my flowers to Camilo. He's a real one, all right? And he's going to look to finish in the top 3 as well. Didn't quite get the finishes he wanted, but he will be here in contention nonetheless. Up next, we have Miranda here, who made it into podium in A class, and she even surprised herself, it seemed like a little bit there. But we know greatness can come out of Miranda here. We know her jukes are nasty. We know she has the capability of doing so. All she has to do is put that together. And she is well aware of that, and she's going to do exactly, or look to do exactly that in this S2 game right here, and hope for a top 3 finish. And then we have Glitchmoth. I mean, what can you say and what can you expect? What else car would Moth be in if it wasn't for the Sierra? I mean, like, is there any other car that he would be in? I mean, it's Glitchmoth once again making his UKC debut, the new quote-unquote UKC debut, and looking to make waves and prove that this Sierra Alpha right here is his car, and that this is also his class. He's looking to he's already got a victory in A class, and he's trying to add another one, or at least a top 3 finish under his resume. And finally, last but not least, we got Spotless. Spotless is always in an unconventional car, or at least should I say a different caliber of car than the rest of these guys right here. He is in a 765 LT right here. Once again, the only player here on keyboard and mouse. That just goes to show you the skill that Spotless possesses to be playing at this level here with keyboard and mouse. And he's going to try to do it in the McLaren 765 LT. And with that being said, there you have it. These are your S2 Lobby 2 contenders right here. Spotless Owl, Glitchmoth, @McNoob, Trailline, Kawaii FH1, and Spec R. This match is coming up right now. Forza's Panda offering a free contract to Moth, it seems like. Moth wins equals free subways for every viewer. So Panda is looking to provide that. And we start off with the crown. Absolutely perfect here. We don't have to do any passing. Hopefully I can stay out of the way here. And let me go ahead and slide in over here. Ooh, we are right here. Perfect spawn for us as well. Hopefully nobody is going to stop us here. Perfect, perfect. It looks like Spotless does start off with the crown here. Ooh, but Spec looking to take it from Spotless with ease, it seems like. Only giving him 18 seconds on the board. And let's go ahead and catch up and see what we got going on here. Spotless, though, taking it right back from Spec. Once again, the only keyboard player in this lobby here, and in the entire league, and probably in the entire community here. Spotless proving that he can hang with the best, even at a disadvantage. Kawaii, though, off to a hot start there in his Jaguar. This is the start that he wants right here, because in the first 2 games, he wasn't doing so hot. And so this is the start that he wants. Spec, though, making quick work in his Blade, looking to make a quick maneuver here. And he does, as he sends the entire lobby way to the other side there. Miranda, though, looking for a cutoff, it looks like. A bit of a crash there, but that almost actually helped her. Spotless and Miranda both going for a cutoff. Will Spec make it out of there alive? No, he doesn't. Spotless is there for the interception. And it looks like Spotless is off to a great start here. He's currently in the lead right now. Spec currently is very closely behind, but Miranda coming in, taking the crown here, and she's going to look to put up some time on the board here. Once again, she's in that CCGT, a car that she's very comfortable with here. And, you know, don't fix what's not broken. That is the motto for a lot of these people right here. Spotless, though, going for a cutoff right there. So is Miranda. Will either of them get it? No, they won't. Spec, too smart there. Brakes too good on the Blade there. And Spec moving up into first place, looking to put up a minute on the board. Spotless and Miranda both going for a cutoff here. Kawaii and Moth falling just a little bit behind there. And Trailline trying to look for an open pocket. Will he find it right here? Oh, Spec is on the inside of the tunnel right there. And Trailline was looking for a cut. That was just not there. But Spotless with an absolutely nasty cutoff right there. And that is going to catch Spec off guard there. But Kawaii coming in, catching Spotless off guard. And he's going to make a run for it here. And Kawaii, like I said, this has been his best performance that I've seen so far. A bit of a bounce off of there, but it's not going to matter as Spec takes the crown from Kawaii. And with that being said here, let's go ahead and jump in with, I'm sorry, not Spec, Glitchmoth's POV here. Just as he gets the crown, perfect timing here. Let's go ahead and jump in and go from his POV right here. Moth doing great work in his Sierra Alpha. We know what he's capable of, and look at the speed that he's carrying around there. He's just absolutely gunning it and praying for the best. He's going to take it around the death corner. I mean, I don't even know what to call it. Wow, and he makes it out alive. Look at the driving from Moth, and this is the Moth that everybody knows and loves and is well aware of. But Spotless right there with a nasty cut. Absolutely able to stop Moth dead in his tracks, but that was enough to put him into third place and just past Kawaii. And so Moth will try to extend that, and he does as he catches Spotless. And Moth is going to look to go for another run here as he comes right under the commentary table right there. And Moth is going to keep running there. Ooh, a bit of a stop there. Oh, man, unlucky for Spotless. It looked like Moth was trying to stop, but Spec got it instead of Spotless there. Good sportsmanship right there. I have to give a shout out to whoever made the joke that Moth only stopped because I was spectating his POV. That was pretty funny. But with that being said, though, Spotless still putting in work. Moth still trying to chase him down, but it's Spec that is right behind Spotless. I do not see Spotless getting out of this scenario, and he almost does. But whenever you have the Blade chasing you like that, you're either going to lose it to the Blade or crash. And that is definitely what happened right there. One of the two. The latter being the course of event that happened. Moth, though, staying right on the tail of that blade, excuse me. And Kawaii still on the chase, spotless. An unfortunate line from Moth. And Miranda comes in and swipes the crown. Bit of a late start for Miranda, but she still has more than 5 minutes left on the board to do something about it as she comes around the corner right there. Ooh, Moth just barely misses, but Spotless is there for the cutoff. And Spotless is doing very, very well considering the car that he is in right now. An absolute driving god, apparently, from Spotless. A great masterclass that we're seeing from Spotless. Spec, though, in that blade with the car advantage. I mean, not to take away the credit from the driving, but Spec not quite as far as I would have predicted in terms of ahead of second place there. Spotless somehow gets that one. I'm not quite sure. There were about 3 or 4 people in that scenario that that probably could have gotten it there, but it was not. It was not Spotless. That would not have been my first guess. But nonetheless, Miranda coming in and swiping the crown here and looking to take Moth out of third place so that she can move into the upper bracket. And Kawaii coming in out of nowhere, and he's going to try to do the same thing here. Treyline is right behind him. He wants to get a taste of that crown. He hasn't touched it once, and there it is. He gets it from Kawaii, and that will be his first few seconds on the board. Now, Camilo is not a big fan of S2, and so, you know, he is definitely at a disadvantage here. I believe he rarely ever plays S2. So he is definitely doing his best to keep up in the Viper AE right there. He did get a chance to touch the crown. Couldn't quite get away from the blade, though. But nonetheless, Miranda has the crown right now. Moth coming in and swiping the crown, and there it is. What an absolute cut there. That is vintage Moth. I mean, whenever you see Moth play, whenever you're playing against Moth, this is exactly what you expect. A nice brake check there from Moth on the blade, driven by Spec, and a nice getaway from Spotless as well. Kawaii chasing right behind him. Miranda just barely misses. So does Camilo. So does Spec. What an absolute drive run that we're seeing here from Moth. Tries to get away there. Ooh, bit of a hitbox tag, it looks like, from Spec. But nonetheless, Moth, though, with an incredible run. Moth, unfortunately, lost the crown there. Give me just 1 second here. I thought we had some technical difficulties. My apologies. Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled program as Moth takes the crown away from Spec. He's going to look to move up into second place. As a matter of fact, mathematically speaking, he definitely has time to come back and even take first place. Will either Spec or Spotless allow that? I mean, technically speaking, even Miranda has a chance to take first place. Oh, and what a miss from Miranda. I could have sworn that was a hitbox tag there. AI was not on her side this time, but CGI was, as Spec takes the crown away from Moth. Spotless still on the chase, though. Spec able to create some space with the diversion there. A bit of a tussle between Camilo and Camilo and Moth. Spec getting away there, just using the sheer handling of that blade, and oh my goodness, Moth was hoping for a hitbox tag, but he eventually gets it as Trailline comes in, and Spec was just a little bit too worried about Trailline, and forgot about forgot about Moth, who was just able to bounce off the wall and get it there. Ooh, bit of a hesitation there from Moth, and it looked like not really a panic, but it looked like he didn't really quite know what to do there. Costed him the crown. We'll see if Spec can keep holding it here. Spec is definitely safe in terms of time right now. He's definitely going to at least be in the top 3, if not already first place at this point. Although Moth is closing in on Spotless's time, and he might be looking to take some time away. Oh my goodness, Camilla with just barely a miss. And if I was Camilo, I would be upset at that one. That one is something that should have, you know, if it was my POV with Camilo right there, probably would have been absolutely upset with that one. But right now, Moth and Spotless currently tied, but Spotless is ahead of Moth. So Moth just needs to get one more tag on the crown, and that will secure him the third place. And there's a tag from Camilo coming in. And he's going to look to try to keep it, maybe even come out of last place. and drop Kawaii into last place here. Kawaii and Miranda have been a little bit quiet as of late here. Oh, but Moth making quick work of Trailline. Very, very unfortunate line there from Trailline. But looks like Moth will move up into second place. We'll see if Spotless gets the crown here. It looks like he's not going to, as Moth just simply outturns, outhandles, outbreaks, and outruns the entire lobby. Just look at him as he makes a run through the finish. Will he get the King Country? Yes, he does. Oh my goodness, how the hell was... Oh no! Who was that at the end? Was that Miranda at the end? Moth did not get the King Country. But nonetheless, we have Spec taking the victory, first place. Moth taking second place, Spotless third, Miranda fourth, Kawaii fifth, and Trailline sixth. With that being said, let's go ahead and recap the previous game here. So, we have Spec putting on an absolute monster of a performance here. I mean, what do you expect? You got Spec, the reigning, defending, undisputed best player in the world, in the best car, putting up 4 minutes on the board here. An absolute masterclass by Spec. And then Moth, a bit of a surprise here. Okay, it would have been a surprise like maybe like a month ago, but as of late, I will have to admit, Moth has been doing very, very well. But in his Sierra of his, proving that he can keep up with the best, taking second place on in the S2 lobby here. Spotless though, in that 765 LT, that is arguably more impressive for him to be driving on keyboard and mouse, or keyboard rather, in a 765 LT against the best players in the world here. Still able to eke out that third place. Miranda coming in with 35 seconds on the board. Not quite the start, not quite the finish that she wanted, but off the start though, she did play very well. And same can be said with Kawaii here. He was able to get a nice start at the very beginning, getting nice tags off of Spec and Moth, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but couldn't quite finish strong. And Trailline just couldn't get the pieces together. He did get the crown a few times, but lost it fairly quickly here. Once again, Camilo's here for the vibes. He's not really, you know, like he's not. So either way, though, still a great performance by every one of these guys. And with that being said, we have the upper bracket lobby and the lower bracket lobby for week 2. We have Speed, myself, and iBox. These three right here, and Spec, Moth, and Spotless. These three right here are going to consist of the upper bracket lobby. And then, of course, obviously for the lower bracket, you got Plum Sauce, Stolen, and Autocycle, and Miranda, Kawaii, and Trailline trying to make their way out of the lower bracket and into final chance. All right. If people have to go, you know, before it is too late, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for making this possible. All right, Miranda, Moth, iBox, Speed, Spotless, Camilo, Spec, the ones that are still here anyway. Thank you so much. Big shout out to Kawaii as well for scurrying and getting home, because I believe he was a little bit busy as well. Unfortunate for Stolen and Autocycle to not be here. I believe I'm missing somebody. Who the hell am I missing? I am missing somebody right now. Who the hell am I missing? I feel so very bad. Damn, I'm gonna have to look at these. Plum Sauce. Fuck me. It's Plum. Yeah. Plum. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Special shout out to Plum as well. We all know and love Plum. All right. There's that. Absolutely no one important, says Speed. Crazy. Tremendous work from everyone here. Okay, that pretty much covers it all, and we can just kind of talk about the results here. I will do a little half-page window capture here, like that, so that we can talk about this. Let's see here. Are there any surprises from you guys or anything like that? I mean, the biggest surprise is definitely Spec taking last place. Okay, like, to be honest, I wish he just restarted. But you know, I don't know why you would stay in the game and not play either. You know what I mean? Like, at least, you know, at least I know that there's you know, there was probably no drive in doing that, you know, in terms of. But either way, very nicely done from the others for beating Spec, I suppose, right? I mean, we have to give him the flowers. We have to give the props as it is because, you know, whether it was connection issues or car issues, whatever the case may be, like it did happen. So there's that. That's probably the biggest surprise there. Very unfortunate to see Autocycle not here in any of his matches. Unlucky. We will have to go back and finalize the times for this one. I'll go back and watch the VOD. And also, unlucky that Stolen also has to DNF there. This Stolen could have definitely changed the outcome of this. I feel like, especially this one, this 4-person game right here, a bit scuffed, I think, and obviously not as exciting with 4 people as opposed to 6. I believe this was the first. This was the first game right here. This last S2 lobby was the first game where everybody was there, and also, you know, like I was commentating. I believe that was the first sort of like full game there. So this was fun to watch. I enjoyed this. I mean, yeah, I was commentating over it, whatever, but like this was fun. This was fun. Yeah, Kawaii making waves. I mean, look, didn't get top 3, but like just 30 seconds off, you know, and like he's making his debut there. Plum Sauce, I mean, he's getting better. He's getting better. Okay, we gotta give him his props as well. I mean, always we gotta give props to Spotless for playing in on keyboard and mouse. But Camilo actually beats Spotless here. He was actually very close to beating Miranda there, actually, to move into 3rd place. And that's expected from Camilo. He likes the A classes, or at least the lower classes. The lower the better for Camilo. So there's that. Plum, appreciate the was it 2 months? Appreciate the 3 months. I appreciate you, Plum. And of course, Spec. That's just very unlucky. That's probably not gonna. We're not gonna hear the end of this. That's crazy. Yeah, this is your best player in the world right here, taking last place under 30 seconds. I'm just playing. I love you, Spec. Speed putting on an absolute masterclass here in S1. Okay, I mean, hey, me and Panda have this little bet thing going on. Shit. If this is how it's looking, then I don't know. Like Panda actually might have me on this one. But Spotless did just eke out iBox at the very end. Didn't quite like iBox was ahead the entire time, and Spotless just got it right at the end there. Kawaii still hanging in there. I mean, it's not that big of a gap, to be honest, between these guys here. So there's that. And then this was a very close game. I did mess up at the end there. It was a very open tag that I missed, and Spec was able to capitalize on that, eke me out right here. But still a very close game. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing this game. Yeah, this was probably my favorite game that I played in. So there's that. Miranda, of course, eking out that. Oh, Miranda! Yo, am I tripping? Did I say Miranda didn't make it in the podium in S1? Wow, I may have misspoke. So Miranda actually does make it into the top 3 here for S1 as well. Look at that, 2 out of 3 for upper bracket. Yeah, round of applause to the baby Bulgarian. Ash must be very proud. Appreciate you joining us, by the way. I know you've been here for a minute, but yeah, very nice. And Plum Sauce just not making the cut. Very, very close, very close. And Stolen wasn't here. I mean, this probably could have gone differently if Stolen was here as well. But yeah, with that being said, though, I think that about covers everything here for week 1 of the UKC. We'll be back on July 29th on Saturday, same time. All right, July, not next week, but the week after, okay? Whatever cars you guys picked today, you have to use again, all right? You can change the tune, the upgrades, the paint job, whatever you want to do to it, you can. All you have, but the only thing is you have to use the same cars, all right? Okay. Are there any final last words? I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything here. Once again, I gotta give a big shout out to all the players on the entire roster. Miranda, Moth, Ibox, Speed, Spotless, Camillo, Spec, Plum, Auto, Stolen. Thank you. All right, Kawaii. Thank you so much for making this happen. You know what? We did better than Season 1. Okay? This only took about 3 hours as opposed to over 4 in Season 1 for these weekends. All right? But now that we know a little bit of what's going on, perhaps in the future it'll be a little bit smoother. Right? So, anyways. All right, with that being said, let me see. I'll give a shout out to all the people that are in the chat right now. Everybody type 1 so I can read your name before I call it quits for this week 1 video. Everybody type in 1 if y'all want to shout out right here. I'm end it off right here. Okay. Sky, Plum, Miranda, Camillo, Panda, Speed, Spotless. Yes. Panda once again. Yukio. Yes. Thank you, each and every single one of you for joining me for UKC week 1. No eliminations today, but next week, or not next week, but in week 2, Spec as well. Big shout out to Spec. But in week 2, there will be eliminations. If you're bottom 3 in the lower bracket, that means you will be going home. All right? With that being said, I've been your host, Top Gear Tim. Thank you so much for showing all the love and the support. Plum Sauce, thank you for the 10 bits as well. He's cheering UKC. And that's been it for me today. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.